Hi, Tim. Good morning, everyone. See, team, yesterday session, we started one program, guys. The program main functionality to input customer Aadhaar number and return corresponding customer details. To enter customer Aadhaar number and return corresponding customer details. Right. For this program, we created a one table. We created customer table is created with a customer ID, customer name, customer designation, and customer date of birth and Aadhaar number. After that, we try to inserting data into the customer table. After evaluated commands, this is your customer table, guys. So we try to write one program, guys. The program main functionality to input a customer Aadhaar number. So for this program, what we are trying to input? We try to input Aadhaar number, guys. What it should be written? What should be written? You should be written corresponding customer ID, name, designation, date of birth. Means four column values you should be written. You are inputting one customer, one Aadhaar number, and return four columns. Means one input parameter, four are output parameters. That is right now. Progress. There is yeah. Practice. Practice. So create or replace. Create or replace procedure. Procedure name is get info is a procedure name. Get information of. We are passing as a parameter. Aadhaar number we are passing as a in parameter. Customer underscore. What is the table name? This is a customer table. Customer DB dot CID percentile type. And the P underscore compulsory call names should be remembered, guys. Alright. So table is created, guys. But the thing is, yesterday I forget commit. That's why we can lose data. I close the session without commit. So no issue. You can execute these commands, guys. Command is required. Okay. Now guys, table is ready. These are the columns. All right, customer underscore. Out parameter. Customer underscore db dot. Customer underscore name percentage type. P underscore customer description. Again is out parameter. Customer underscore db dot. Customer underscore DSIG percentage type. Customer data dot. Customer underscore db is a out parameter. Customer underscore db dot customer underscore date of birth percentage type. So one more parameter we should be right. P underscore CID is the out parameter. Customer underscore db dot CID percentage type. Is begin and get underscore info dash. Okay, this is the procedure name, guys. Get info. This is the procedure name. We are inputting one input parameter and return this. Oh, now generally see. Suppose in front-end application, we are designing one form. This is a customer form, guys. This is a customer form. Okay. Customer details. Okay, we develop this application by using any front-end tool. Okay, and inside this we are inputting some Aadhaar number we try to input here. Okay, and what it should be written now? It should be written corresponding customer ID, customer name, designation, and date of birth. Okay, and we have the two buttons. We have the two buttons. One button is find button, a search button. One button is search button. Another button is pencil button. Okay, we have the two buttons. The first column, what I'm inputting? The first column, guys, I'm inputting Aadhaar number 1001. I'm inputting Aadhaar number, guys. 1000 means 10 lakh 1. Okay. Once I click on the search button in my front-end application, okay, then request goes to backend. Inside this search button, you are calling one procedure, guys. Okay, you are calling one procedure, procedure is calling. Right now, one procedure we try to call. Now that procedure right now in backend we are discussing, guys. Okay, so which procedure you are calling? Get info. Okay, get info procedure you are calling. Okay, now now select select CID, comma, customer name, comma, customer designation, comma, customer data birth into P underscore CID, P underscore first name, P underscore first designation, P underscore first underscore DB. From which table? From customer DB table, where Aadhaar number is equal to P underscore Aadhaar number. Enough. Completed, guys. Here, what you are passing, suppose here, what you are passing here in the front end application, in the front end, inside this search button, what I'm calling right now, what I'm calling now, I'm calling get info procedure. What I'm calling here, inside this, I'm calling get info procedure, guys. Get underscore info procedure of I'm passing 1001, I'm passing. Okay, what are remaining? These are text boxes, guys. Okay, text box 1. Each and every text box contains one name actually. Okay, na? This name is T1, suppose T2, T3, T4, T5. So as a second parameter, T2, T3, T4, T5, and close, and close here. Okay. Now here what happens, guys? So inside the search button, you are calling this procedure. Once you click on the search button, request goes to backend. The backend, your procedure is calling in backend. What you are passing, guys, here? 1001. Here 1001 passed into here. 10001 is passed into here. Then 1001 Aadhaar number corresponding customer ID, customer name, designation, customer DB is copied into these parameters because these are the out parameters. So 1001 Aadhaar number, what the corresponding name, 7499, Allen, salesman, 20 February 81. Everything is copied into these variables. Completed, guys. Now, what the customer ID returns? 7499. Radar. What is the customer ID? 7499. Customer ID returning. How much? 7499. That is returning into corresponding text box is T2. Means here 7499 is coming. 7499 is coming, guys. Next, second, third parameter, customer name is returning, Allen is returning. As a third parameter, T3, the T3, Allen. Next, as a fourth parameter, customer designation. Salesman is returning into fourth one. Next one is date of birth. Something date of birth. Customer DB date of birth returns. That is returning into in this. What is the date of birth now? 20 February 81. Okay. 20 February 80. That is, guys, completed. Enough. Means once you click this search button, automatically this message comes. This message is fetching from where? Our backend database using stored procedure. That procedure is inputting Aadhaar number and there is a procedure returns this one. Okay. So this application we can design by using front-end language, Java. If you are using Java, suppose we try to develop one JSP form and using servlets, and you can give that JDBC connection, database connectivity, and call the procedure. Completed, guys. Okay. So this is our program. Simple program, guys. In backend, there is no lines of code. In backend, there is no lines of code. Simple single line code only here we are passing. Guys. So here I'm passing customer Aadhaar number, not only 1001. Suppose I try to pass 1005. Click on the search button, then what happens? 1005 record is fetching from backend, and that is returning into corresponding text boxes. So we are inputting different Aadhaar numbers. Then corresponding data is fetching. That's why get info means that program means the logic, what you try to have the logic now. That logic you should be placed in procedure, guys, because this program stored in database permanently. Anytime we can call your get info procedure. Anytime you can call get info procedure, we can call. That is a reusability. That is a processor becomes most popular in databases, guys. Because simply we are calling inside this search button, simply we are calling procedure only enough, na? Okay. So if you want to call this procedure, what backend work you can do? In the backend, compulsory should be table. The table contains some data. After that, you try to start the write the program, and we can call the get info procedure from front-end application. Okay. So this is the program, guys, how to call procedures using front-end application. Right now, guys, here we are discussing backend how to write the program. Okay. So, but who tell these programs are your front-end faculty? Your front-end faculty, advanced Java faculty. Who is teaching advanced Java? The faculty will discuss about this. The faculty will discuss this program actually. Okay. So before discussing this program by your faculty, you should know the database. You should know the database knowledge compulsory. How to create the table, how to insert the data, and how to create the procedure. These things you must know. That's why if you try to join as a Java full stack developer or any front-end developer, data science developer or .NET developer, no. Once you start, suppose if you take Java, suppose once you join the core Java, suppose, because if you try to start the Java developer, no, if you try to learn, first core Java is required. So at the time of core Java, parallelly, you should be complete your database concepts also. Parallelly, you can join the database concepts also. Okay. Then once both are completed, then you are ready for database. Then in advanced Java, what the faculty will discuss any one or two examples. Remaining examples you can do your own. Okay. Actually, some guys they are learning Oracle once the JDBC started. At that time, what you know them, because the faculty discussing programs one by one, and within 1 week he completed total DB transactions programs. Within the 1 week he discussed inserting, updating, creating procedure. The programs related to Java all are discussed, but at that time you don't know. what is the meaning of procedure, how to create the procedure, how we are fetching the data. That's why this is the way to learn. Okay, fine. See guys, suppose you are applying as uh, either 2 plus or 3 plus experience, suppose as a Java developer, suppose. They are asking some theory questions, technical questions. They are asking first of all about subject, Java, database, or what it may be. After that, they try to give one application, guys. You should be complete that application. That application it covers front end, UI it covers, and business technology means Java language, and storage technology, database. Okay, that application covers all these three: front end, mid-level language, and database concepts. Once you complete the application successfully and you are getting some data, what the requirement, it is 100% is completed, you will get the job directly. No issue. Because in real time, the applications that depends upon these three only, right or wrong? UI design and logic and database. That's why full stack developers are most popular nowadays. Okay, right. Try to concentrate these programs, guys. Not exactly this one. Today I discuss one program, guys. But you try to implement according to our employee table. Just we try to give one employee number and return corresponding employee name or job or net salary or experience. Small programs. Once you try to complete front end or back end, then you can increase your practice and you can do that big programs also. Okay, right, guys. Okay, the backend first should be create the procedure first of all. After that only you try to call this procedure from front end, guys. Without create the procedure in backend, how to call? Right or wrong? Yes. So this is the example of stored procedures in real time where you can exactly use it. One program we discussed right now. Okay, right. The next one is, but sir, we are in completely backend. Right or wrong? Here we are running completely backend, guys. But in backend, how to call this procedure? In backend, how to call this procedure in backend? So in backend, how to call the procedure? See, calling procedure in backend. Calling procedure in backend. So declare. I declare some variables: CID, customer underscore db dot CID percentage type, v underscore customer underscore name, customer underscore db dot customer underscore name percentage type, v underscore customer designation, customer underscore db dot customer designation percentage type, v underscore customer underscore date of birth, customer underscore db underscore customer underscore db percentage type. Okay, guys. backend slash. So now here I'm calling procedure. What procedure name? Get underscore info. Or I am passing Aadhaar number. Then remaining all are out parameters, right? Okay. Now here this is called as calling procedure. Calling procedure. Then put underscore line. V underscore customer ID. Name. Designation. Yeah. No? So 10001. Declaration wrong. See guys? Hmm. Okay. Yes. This is the program guys. Here also same like, but here we are calling a procedure. While calling the procedure, we are inputting Aadhaar number and I declare four variables because the get info procedure returns four values. So what the procedure return the values? These variables are catching. We know how to receive the values. Okay, this one means what the procedure returns customer ID returns na. The customer ID is returning into V customer ID. What the customer returns that is copied into V customer name. Designation is copied into this one. Customer DB is copied into this. Yeah, no. Right, guys. This is the example. Okay. Any doubts, guys? Understand now? Right. So the next one is one common and important program in real time to develop any application. These programs are mandatory, guys. Right now, what we are discussing, the programs are mandatory. Now here. Write a stop procedure. Write a stop procedure to create a user registration. To create a user registration. I want to create a user registration, guys. Right. Yes, Pushpesh. Yes, Pushpesh. Get info is for only for procedure only. End get info only. Okay, na? But this is the normal program, Pushpesh. Don't use get info here because it is not a procedure. Na? This is a normal PLSQL block. This block is calling the get info program only. Okay. Here I use in a procedure. For the procedure and get info is required here. Understand? Na? Actually, you can write only end also you can write, or get info also you can write. That is actually get info is optional, not a mandatory. Optional, but good practice is get info. Means procedure name is good practice because in packages, why are using this end procedure name? We can see in packages actually. At that time, you can understand why are giving this end procedure name. Okay, na? So write a stop procedure to create user registration. Right, validations. Validations. First of all, we want to create a table, guys. Create a user registration table with I want to create one user, guys. Suppose I am developing right now on bank application. First, I need to do that net banking registration. I can do. In the net banking registration, what are the columns required? What are the columns required? Net banking. Okay. First one is customer ID is required. Right or wrong? Customer ID. Account number. Customer ID. Next, account number. What is the next one? Username. Username. Password. Customer ID. Account number. Yes. User ID also is required. User ID. Actually, the customer ID is the user ID in the real-time applications, right or wrong? Some banks, they're giving customer ID is the user ID, but some banks they're creating their own usernames also. Okay, right? Customer ID, account number, username, password. Okay, created date and created by created. Who created? User admin. That is okay, guys. Created by. Now, what are the validations are required? What are the validations for this? Validation is the username. Username. Username should not be repeated. Right or wrong? In net banking, no user is repeated. No, user ID is not repeated. No, username should not be repeated. Next one is password. Password should be start with an alphabet. Alphabet and minimum length of password is 6 characters. Minimum length of password is how much? 6 characters. Enter password and confirm password should be same. Should be same. Created date is today date. Created by created by created by is accept. If they accept customer or admin. Who create that? Either admin can create or you can create. Other people cannot create. Other people means employees. Means bank employees. Not. Admin only can create. Either you can create your own. Only 2 persons only. Means which person, which employee has admin rights. Only that person create. Or else you can create your own. This one. Okay. And one more column is required. TNO is required. TNO. Transaction number also is required. Now, transaction number should be generated automatically. Guys, I ask one question, guys, to all. Is it understanding the programs, what I'm discussing? Okay, because here I discuss some small means I try to increase the logics of the programs one by one, step by step, I'm increasing. Okay, our understanding or not? See, if you are not understanding these validations, simply I can give small programs only. Simply input employee number, return job. Input employee number, returning net salary. Or input employee number, returning department name. That type of programs I can discuss. Okay, na? If you're understanding, that is good actually. Tell me, guys, because understanding is most important. Only I got only one response from one guy give that response. Tell me, guys, remaining guys. What I'm discussing, programs understand not in the stored procedures. Right. See, in these validations, Pushpesh. Okay. So these are the validations. First, we try to create the table first of all, right or wrong? So in database, now first to create the table. So table creation. Table creation. This is step one, guys. Step one, what can do? Table creation. So create table. User registration table. User registration or bank user registration. You can repeat. Okay. What are the columns required? Transaction number is required. Customer ID, account number. T and O I declare as number of 10 or number of 4. Now here I'm taking number of 4 only. Next to customer ID, I declare as number of 10. Next to account number, I declare as varchar 2 of 10. Next one is username, guys, right? Username, varchar 2 of 15. Password, varchar 2 of 15. Created date, timestamp. Okay. In real time, they're using timestamp only. Okay, na? Next, created by is a varchar 2 of 10. These are the columns required, guys. And also status. User status. User status char of 1. Char of 1. Char of 1. Or else you can declare as varchar 2 of 4. Varchar 2 of 10. User status means the user is enabled or disabled. Currently, the user is working or not. That is the status. Because only working users only we are taking, na disabled we are not taking. So the user status is either enable or disable. This is by default. User status is enabled. Okay, and user status should be accept either enable or disable. By default, enable means today user is created, that is enable na by default, right or wrong? Once the user is created successfully, the status is enabled. Okay. In future, if you want disable the user, suppose, then we can update the status with the disabled. Disabled means that user is not working. Temporarily it is a disabled state. That is. Actually, Oracle SQL is not supported Boolean data type, guys. Boolean means true or false. That's why simply we can write one more example of this. User status you declare as number also you can declare, guys. Number of 1. That is also good. Okay, by default user status is 1. 1 means enable, or else either 0 or 1. Either 0 or 1 should be accepted, guys. 0 means disable, 1 means or 1 or 0. Actually, in real time now, they give that data types are this one only. 0 means disable, 1 means enable. Okay, because they can reduce the data inside the database. Now we can reduce number of characters. That's why they're using this type of techniques they're using. Okay. Now these are the validations. Transaction number. Okay, this is step 1. Step 2. Create a sequence. Create a sequence to generate transaction number automatically. I want to generate transaction number automatically 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 because transaction number should be generated automatically. To generate automatically, then sequence is required. Create sequence. Sequence name is TNO_SEQ. Start with 1, increment by 1. Enough. Remaining Remaining things are not required. Okay, create sequence T1 underscore seq. Start with 1, increment by 1. Step 2 completed. Table created step 1. Step 2 sequence is created. Next step 3. Procedure for user registration. Wait at the procedure, guys. In that procedure, you should be satisfy all these validations. Okay. Status should be written. What the status means? If the user is created, I want return user created successfully. Anytime I got error. So these are the validations. If any validation is failed, I want return corresponding error message. The status should be written compulsory. Okay, na? Right. Up to here, any dots? Create the table, guys, in database and create the sequence. Now, we have to start that procedure to satisfy these validations, guys. Okay. Right. So for this procedure, according to these validations, what are the parameters required? What are the inputs are required? What input you are providing for that procedure? The procedure main functionality to create a user registration. So for the procedure transaction number, can I pass? Not required because automatically generated. Now why are passing? Not required. So this is the input parameter. We should be passed. Username should be passed. And the password also should be passed. Okay. And created date is today date. This is not required. Automatically it is taking. And created by, you should be passed. Who created now? User, admin, user or admin you can pass. And user status, no need to pass because by default 1. Created date, today take automatically. Automatically means inside the procedure automatically take. So next user status should be accepted either 1 or 0. By default 0, you should be status 1 or 0. Okay, this is also input parameter. What about this now? This is the output parameter. Finally, I want to return the status about your user registration. Is it created or not? This is output parameter. Okay. How many input parameters are required? 1, 2, 3, 4. How many output parameters?